Ferris State gets its revenge from their sole loss last year in a 34-17 win over the number 10 team in the country, Pittsburg State. This was a matchup I was extremely excited about just because of these two teams, how successful they were last year, just because of the game that they had last year, but also because these are two top 10 teams to start out the year. And I was really excited to talk about this quarterback matchup in the preview and what both of these teams were going to do, what Pittsburgh State was going to do, what Ferris State was going to do. I mentioned Carson Gulker. He did play in this game, but if you really want to mention the star of this game, this was a star that was making his college debut at the quarterback position, and that was Wyatt Bower, redshirt freshman. He just played great yesterday for the most part. I know that Coach Anise did talk a little bit about some communication issues, but guess what? It's week one. There's going to be communication issues. There's going to be issues on the field. There was even a blown coverage on the field, which is something that Ferris State doesn't do a whole ton. Now, absolutely, that happens every once in a while, but you got week number one. There's going to be issues. There's going to be time to correct them. But with what happened in this game, if you're a Ferris State fan, I don't think you could be more thrilled than you are with a guy like Wyatt Bower because he's the type of quarterback that can do it both. He can run, he can pass. And he really demonstrated that in last night's game. He was a lean rusher, had 25 attempts, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also was 11 for 18, 112 yards for 1 touchdown thrown as well. He was able to get it done with his arm. He was able to get it done with his legs. And that's going to be a major issue if he continues to do it so efficiently because we all remember last year with Trinidad Chamberlain. He was able to do it with both sides. He also had Carson Gulker was able to do it in the red zone. If you can get a quarterback like Wyatt Bower, and if you can get a guy like Carson Gulker still invested, still working with this team, this is going to be a quarterback duo that is going to be electric. It's going to be a duo that's going to be really tough to stop, especially with the offensive line that Ferris had and with the running backs that they had as well. Ferris ran for over 200 yards yesterday against a Pittsburgh State defense that was really good defensively last year. Like I said, going into this game, I thought that Ferris would be able to get anything that they wanted on the ground, and they were absolutely able to do that. Brady Rose was a part of that. Wyatt Bower was a part of that. Tariq Brett was a part of that. Zach Aaron was a part of that. There was multiple different guys on this roster that was able to contribute in a game against a top 10 team. And then you also have Brady Rose getting involved in the passing game. I did mention him and how he was going to be a guy to kind of keep an eye on. Brady Rose is that kind of guy that is just really involved no matter what the game is going to be like. He's going to be able to run the ball. He's going to be able to catch the ball. And he was just all over the field in last night's game. He had 4 receptions, 53 yards. He's going to be someone to continue to watch out for. I did mention a couple wide receivers, and I do apologize that are no longer on the team. They graduated last year. Now, Cam Underwood is still here. He did have 2 receptions, 17 yards. Tariq Brett was the only wide receiver to have a touchdown catch. He did have 5 catches for 47 yards. But this team and just this offense, especially with a running quarterback like Wyatt Bower, was just way too much to overcome for this Pittsburgh State team. And then you really look at what Pittsburgh State had going on in this game. You had Jackson Berry getting the start for Pittsburgh State. He threw 41 attempts. Like, Pittsburgh State could not get anything going on the ground. I believe Pittsburgh State had like 30 attempts, less than 70 yards total. That just shows you how good this Ferris State team did defensively stopping the run. Now, like I said earlier, they did have some mistakes in this game. There was a blown coverage. Pittsburgh State did actually start out this game extremely well. They ended up going down and getting a field goal to start the game. But then after that, it truly was Ferris taking over the rest of the game for the most part. It ended up having like a 20-3 lead, almost going at halftime. Now, this is where the mistakes did happen. I'm sure Coach Anise wasn't too thrilled about this, but Pittsburgh State did score a touchdown with about 48 seconds left to go in the first half. Obviously, when a team scores that late going at halftime, the score is 20-10. but there's a little bit of momentum there. Now, obviously, Pittsburgh State did not capitalize on it. Ferris State continued to drive down the field, continued to play well offensively, continued to play well defensively. It did not cost them whatsoever, but I think that's going to be something that Ferris State's going to continue to talk about, continue to try to prevent, because you do not want to be giving up late touchdowns going into the second half. Now, outside of that, I thought defensively Ferris was all over the field. They were able to get in the backfield. Again, they were causing issues for Cleo Chandler Jr., 16 attempts, 49 yards. He did end up scoring a touchdown in this game, but if you look at the average, it's like 3.1, 2.1, 1.7. Like, those are the averages for all the running backs for Pittsburgh State. If you can force a team to just continue to throw the ball over and over and over like they did last night, Ferris State's going to be really, really difficult to stop, because when you know that they're not able to get anything going on the ground, you can not only set up your defense to prevent the pass, but you know what's going to happen. And obviously in this game, when the other team is behind quite a bit in this game, especially in the third and fourth quarter, which that's exactly what happened, they're going to have to throw the ball. But when you have an idea of what they're going to run when they can't get anything on the ground going, that's going to make it really, really difficult. And it's really going to rely on the quarterback. It's going to rely on the wide receivers to make plays. And when you're going up against an offense that shows potential, that just dominates whenever they're out there, it's a tough game to win. And I think that's what Pittsburgh State realized yesterday, is when you're going up against this type of offense, when you're going up against this type of defense that's just flying around, that's just playing physical football, it's a tough place to win, especially at Ferris State. And it's going to be something that Pittsburgh State and Ferris State's going to have to deal with in the next couple of years, because I believe it was announced that this matchup was extended for at least 2 years, which is really exciting, because I think both of these teams are still going to be top 10, top 15 teams in the country going forward. Ferris State obviously will be in the discussion for number one as long as Tony Anise is still there. And this is just a great start to Ferris. I think this is the Ferris team that everyone thought that they would be. I thought that they just looked really good from the get-go. And truly, if they fix the mistakes that they did, which were very few from looking onward, this Ferris State team is going to be a very, very difficult team to win. And I think last night really showed that that's the case, especially when you have a guy like Wyatt Bower, especially when you have a guy like Brady Rose, especially when you have a guy like Carson Gulker. There's pieces around this team that they continue to operate the way they did last night. I don't know if a team can beat this team in the country, honestly. And I think that's due to the offensive line. I think that's due to the defense stopping the run. I just feel like there's too much for this team, and I think Pittsburgh State just experienced that last night and ended up being a 34-17 win. Now, that was because of a touchdown with about 8:40 left to go in the fourth quarter, but it really never got anywhere closer than 2 scores at any part of this game, except for the beginning of it. And at that point, Ferris was able to respond right back with the first possession, and when you're down 3 possessions against Ferris State, that's going to become really difficult, and that's exactly what Pittsburgh State realized last night. So, great win for Ferris State, great performance from Wyatt Bower. Really going to be exciting to continue to watch this team, continue to watch Wyatt grow, continue to see what the quarterback position does look like at Ferris State, because in really the press conference, Coach Anise did talk about he just really goes with what he has in his heart. And that could mean Wyatt starting for the rest of the year. Could mean Carson playing quite a bit. And that's the scary thing, is they have guys that they can throw at that quarterback position. They have had success at the quarterback position. And with this offensive line, with this running back room, with this wide receiver room, it truly doesn't matter who, or it truly seems like they can throw anyone at the quarterback position and thrive. And I think last night showed that. I think they're going to continue to do that. And if this is what this team's going to be like, especially at the quarterback position for the next few years, watch out, because Ferris State has a possibility of having a really another quarterback in that quarterback room. And that is a scary situation for a lot of teams in the country. And they're number one in the country for a reason. This team is really good. Offensive line's really good. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. Defensively is really good. So, yeah, statement win for Ferris State. Great win overall. We're going to see what's going to happen at the quarterback position happen going into the future, because week one, things can change, but for week one, they looked really, really good. So, yeah, 34-17 win at home. Ferris is now 1-0 on the year, and they are going into next week. So I will absolutely preview that episode. But, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one. Continue to tune in, continue to support the podcast. Really appreciate it. It's also on Spotify and Apple as well. There's different full-on episodes there, so please subscribe to those as well. But thank you for tuning in to this review of Ferris State versus Pittsburgh State. Great win, Ferris.